The proper use of handcuffs. This presentation will inform the officer in the proper use and care of police handcuffs. It will also give the officer guidelines for deciding when to use handcuffs. Even though the handcuffs are commonly used by law enforcement officers, a considerable degree of misunderstanding of their limitations still prevails. Too often, and once is too often, officers have been lulled into a false sense of security after handcuffing a prisoner. This moment of relaxation has resulted in the escape of a suspect or in a seriously injured police officer. Every police officer must remember a fundamental fact. Handcuffs do not immobilize. Handcuffs are generally recognized as the most dependable restraining devices. The most effective are the double locking handcuffs. The handcuffs used by this department are double locked by inserting a small tip at the top of the key into a small hole in the handcuff stem. The handcuffs are now double locked. This type of handcuff is unlocked by turning the key clockwise until the double lock is released, and then turning it counterclockwise to disengage the handcuff jaw. Handcuffs should always be double locked whenever they are used. This precaution prevents or reduces the possibility of picking or slipping the locking mechanism. Cuffs which are not double locked can be tightened by a prisoner as a way of luring the officer into adjusting them. It is during such close contacts that prisoners attack.
Hey, Mr. Police Officer.
What do you want now?
Mr. Police Officer, my hands. Look at it, man. These cuffs are too tight. Do something about this, man.
Let me see.
Look at it. Come on. Do something about it, man. It's killing me.
All right.
Come on.
Hey,
come on. Loosen it up or something. Ah, Dan, you didn't have to put it on that tight.
Let me see. We'll loosen it.
Ow, it hurt. You hurt me, man.
Relax.
Ah, damn.
Carried in a variety of different places. Sometimes they're carried in pockets. On most police officers, they carry them in a special pouch designed for the particular handcuffs. This keeps the handcuffs free of lint and dust when not in use. Regardless of how handcuffs are carried, they may become exposed to the elements, dirt, lint, and other conditions which may reduce their efficiency and make them inoperative. Handcuffs must be checked frequently, cleaned, and lubricated to prevent any malfunction in times of emergency. The question always arises, when should I use my handcuffs? The officer should make such a decision in light of his responsibility to protect himself, the public, and the prisoner. The general policy of the Ocean City Police Department is to normally use handcuffs for all prisoners. Any variation from this policy will be based on the arresting officer's good judgment. An officer deciding not to use handcuffs will be responsible for any ill results caused by that decision. These 6 factors may influence the officer's judgment. The seriousness of the offense. Obviously, all felons and serious misdemeanors should be handcuffed. Only when the offense is extremely minor should the officer consider violating the general rule. Number 2 is the identity. Is the identity of the suspect known? A prisoner is more likely to attempt an escape if the officer does not yet know his true identity. Number 3, peaceable. Was the arrest peaceable? Obviously, if the officer had to struggle in making the arrest, he will use the handcuffs to restrain the prisoner while transporting. Was the nature of the offense peaceable? If the offense involved an assault or threat of an assault, the officers would always be wise to use handcuffs. Number 4, obvious misuse. Would the use of handcuffs be obviously degrading or reckless in nature? Number 5, physically handicapped. Is the prisoner physically handicapped in a way that would make the use of handcuffs impossible or harmful? And number 6, the mental condition. A prisoner who is obviously irrational, intoxicated, or under the influence of drugs must be handcuffed.
Some over here, in the corner here. Look at what? What? You got what? What's he do? You don't have a warrant. Which one? You got a warrant. What? Come on, Smokey, let's go. Well, you know, you for a couple of years, but come on, Smokey. You take a man. You put that on. Sit down, Smokey. Sit down, Smokey. Go down and take me. All right, I'll follow you down. Okay.
The fact that a suspect is cooperative at the time of his arrest is no guarantee that he will not attempt to escape when he believes the opportunity presents itself. Arresting a male suspect seldom deliberates as to the need for handcuffs. Yet, the arrest of a female offender or a juvenile often brings a hesitancy or reluctance to use the handcuffs. The age or sex of the prisoner should not influence the officer.
You're under arrest. You're not really going to handcuff her, are you? I am. That's ridiculous. She's just a little girl. Little girls can cause a lot of trouble. So in this case, we're going to use the handcuffs. We'll do it my way, all right?